What's up everyone, welcome back to another one of my videos, and in this video we're going over my league, week 4 matchups, and week 3 results. So looking at week 3 results, we have my team on top, the White Wolves. We won 5-4. So as you can see, you actually can't really notice, but field goal percentage came down to like the final couple games. We were slugging out and it was actually extremely close for the good portion of yesterday. My team, Malik Beasley and D'Angelo Russell really upped it a bit, so I was happy about that. And then he had Rubio and Anthony Edwards, and it kind of shot him in the foot a little bit in field goal percentage. I only won one by one block, and believe it or not, the assists were close heading into the final couple of games. We were within 3, 4, 5 assists of each other basically the whole time. So it could have gone either way still. I was lucky enough to pull out a win. Seeper had a bad week because Karl Anthony Towns was injured, and he also had KD out with the COVID protocol until yesterday. While my team, on the other hand, I have half my guys injured um, due to actual injuries, and then I have Trey Young, who's questionable, but he should be playing tonight, and Jaylen Brown, who's under COVID protocol, which sucks. All right, so moving on to the next matchup, we have Team Stewart beating Adam's team, the St. Clair Saints. So if you look at everything, it looks pretty. It looks like all the matchups in this, all the categories in this matchup were won already. So nothing looks close. It looks like Stewart had a nice 5-4 chokehold on the matchup, and that's how he won it. Next up we have is Team Best defeating Metal World Peace. So Best won, let's see what's close in here. Blocks were the only thing that was close, so that's what they were probably fighting for the win. Actually, Jose won that too. So it looks like Team Best was in full control in this matchup as well and could have even won 6-3. Next up we have is All Great Ones defeating Team Mark 5-4. Now this was a very, very close matchup as, let's see, is there anything besides points? So steals could have gone either way, but mainly it was points. Mark was up. Jason's team, who's the Great Ones, had Siakam playing, and that was the final game of the entire week. And Siakam must have hit like the last shot of the game because they were tied with like 3 seconds left. So Jason got very lucky with that, and he pulled out a big 5-4 win against Mark. And the final matchup we have is Von Fleetwood defeating Badonkadonk 6-3. So this is the only one that didn't go 5-4. So huge win for Rick this week as he got clobbered last week 8-1 and is a huge step forward with his team. Especially he made a huge trade this week that really helps his team as well. So looking at these matchups, I believe steals was the only thing in question, and it was. So at the very least, Rick was going to win 5-4, but he managed to squeak out steals as well. So that's a huge win for him because now he's right by the 500 mark, and one more good week and he could be over 500 or at 500. So with those results, these are our current standings. So if you look in the odds division, Jason has the slight edge at 14-13, while percentage-wise, I'm tied with him, along with Best being tied with him. And we also have Rick right behind us, so one more good week from him. He's going to be right up there with us if we all maintain this percentage. And Adam's only 2 games back as well. It's very close in the standings on the odds division. But in the evens, not so much. So we have Team Stewart at 18-9, 667 win percentage. Jose's team seems to be coming back down to earth a bit. It was very hot to start the season. Now I think he's coming down a bit, and with that, he lost last week, so he's now 15-12, which is tied with Mark, who also lost 4-5. So I'm pretty sure they had the same record last week, and they both lost 4-5 this week. And Mark's kind of going through a rough patch right now. He had, let me think. So he has Anthony Davis, who, he's going to miss games due to load management. He has Russell Westbrook. He's going to miss games due to load management. And I think Thomas Bryant might be the only other one who just tore his ACL. And so that's a huge blow to him. But he did pick up Enos Cantor, so it might not be that bad of a blow. And then we have Seeker's team at 11 and 16, who's just been dealing with his top two guys have not been playing. So Karl Anthony Towns was injured for the last 2 weeks, basically, and Kevin Durant just came back from COVID protocol. So they're finally both healthy, but it's kind of funny because Seeper, we only allow 3 centers in our league this year. I just thought I would try it out. We're not going to do it again, but for this year, we only have 3, and he currently has 4 because when he put Karl Anthony Towns on the IR, he picked up another center, which gave him 4. So the only way he could add Towns back into his lineup is he has to remove one of the centers, and they're all good centers. They're all roster worthy. So he's got a tough decision to make with that decision. And the last team up is we have Badonkadonk, who's 10 and 17, and they seem to be struggling right now, as they are in very last place with a 370 win percentage. So I don't know too much about that team, to be honest. I just know he has Luka, and he has Embiid as well, who's out with COVID protocol. So it's not looking good for Badonkadonk. It's really not. He needs to make some moves, I believe. All right, so moving on to our first matchup of the week 4 matchups. It's Rick versus Jason. So if you look to the very far left and the very far right, the teams are updated as best as I can. And in the middle, I'm going to, these are our current stats for the current season. So Rick has 1 less player playing in this matchup, and I don't think that's going to matter too much because he's still favored in field goal percentage, free throws. He's still favored in threes by a good portion and points by a good enough portion to feel comfortable in. Jason is favored in rebounds and assists, and I don't see I don't see him losing those with the 1 extra guy. And now it could go either way in steals and turnovers. Now I did put blocks in here as well, but the reason I put it in here, because if you could look, if you see Rick has 104 blocks so far this season, Jason has 71. Well, Rick traded away his 2 centers. He traded Bam and Wood, and that was a lot of his block production. So now I don't know how good his team is with blocks, so I put it in the can go either way because I feel like he lost enough where it may not favor him as much as the stats show right now. All right, next up on the matchups is Mark versus Jose. Now, again, just like the last matchup, Jose only has 1 extra guy playing this week, so it's not going to make a big difference. So Mark is still going to be favored in free throw percentage, he's going to be favored in blocks, and he's going to be favored in turnovers, while Jose is going to be favored in threes, rebounds, and assists. And then I feel like it go either way in field goal percentage because that's basically 1%, and that's not a lot. Steals is it could go slightly towards Jose, but I still feel like it's close enough where it can still go in Mark's favor. And last is points, which it's close enough where it's any man's game right there. And I think that's it for this matchup. Moving on to the next matchup, we have Adam versus Seeper. Now, again, there's only a 1-player differential where it favors Seeper, so it's not going to make that much of a difference. Adam's still going to be favored in rebounds and blocks, while Seeper's going to be favored in free throw percentage, threes, assists, turnovers, and points, while it can go either way in field goal percentage. And even though it's 1.5%, I don't think that's a big enough difference to say Adam's favored in it. He may be slightly favored, but I would still say it can go either way. All it takes is a few extra missed shots on Adam's part, a few extra made shots by Seeper's part. Plus, Seeper hasn't had Karl Anthony Towns all season, basically, and Kevin Durant. So I do think his field goal percentage will go up. And then it could also go either way in steals. as it is close enough, and he has the extra guy playing, so it could go either way there. So again, with Steeper's team, as you can look on the very far right, he has the 3 centers. He has Mitchell Robinson, Vukovic, and Karl Anthony Towns on the bench, with Rashawn Holmes somewhere in there too. Okay, and he has Holmes. So he has to, instead of getting rid of one of his worst players, which would be Rubio or Anthony Edwards, in my opinion, he's going to have to get rid of a much better player in Rashawn Holmes, Vukovic, or Mitchell Robinson to bring Karl Anthony Towns into his lineup, and he's going to need to do that because he needs all the help he can get right now. All right, moving on to the next matchup is Skylar versus Mike. Now, Skylar has the best record in the team, in the league right now, but this is a very bad matchup for him, as he only has 42 players going, while Mike has 49 players going, and it's mainly because of COVID. He got hit with Marcus Smart's out, Jason Tatum's out, and Tobias Harris is out. So he lost a lot for this week. So that's the difference. And this bodes very well with Mike because he has the worst record in our league right now. So this is a great opportunity for him to get a huge 6-3, 7-2 win and get back with everyone else in the race for the playoffs. So Skylar is favored in field goal percentage. No, he's not. Why did I put that? All right, he's not favored in field goal percentage. Oh, I meant to put that as free throw percentage. So he's favored in free throw percentage, while Mike's favored in field goal percentage. I messed that up. I apologize. Anyway, Skylar's favored in free throw percentage, threes, blocks by a wide margin, and turnovers, while Mike is favored in field goal percentage, rebounds, and points, and it could go either way in assists and steals. So if Mike can pick up the 5 that aren't favored by Skylar, and if he can pick up a block somehow, and if his team shoots well, I know that's a lot of ifs, but if things go his way this week, he could be right by the 500 mark again. So this is a big week for Mike, and he really needs to buckle down on this week and get a big win here. All right, and the final matchup for the week is my team versus Best team. Now, Best has a 2-player differential on me, so he has 47, I have 45, so that's going to play a slight difference. And yeah, I'm still going to be favored in steals and points. Best is going to be favored in both percentage categories, field goal and free throw percentage, which sucks for me. I hope I could somehow squeak one out somehow. He's going to be favored in threes, not by too much, but hopefully I think it's enough to put it in his category because he has 2 extra guys, but we'll see how that pans out. And he's also favored in turnovers, while it could go either way in rebounds, assists, and blocks. And again, he has 2 extra guys going, so I do feel like he's going to be slightly favored in at least, I would say definitely the assist, maybe the rebounds. I still feel like blocks are going to be better for me because I've gotten more players suited to get me some blocks. All right, guys, that is all I have in this video about my league. If you liked it, if you just enjoyed me talking about my league, please leave a like and make sure you subscribe to my channel, as I'm going to be dropping more information-based fantasy basketball content all season long. Thank you for watching, guys.